Hi. Uh,
Hello.
Today we're going to be talking a bit about the importance of automation. What does it mean in the world of digital marketing? How important is it for sales and marketing teams? What does it bring in, and who really benefits from automation? So let's get this conversation starting.
Yes, hi there. Talking about automation and the importance of it in business and what exactly automation serves. What does automation need to get in action? And this is where the big conversation leads into messages. So having a message is the core to every business between both entities. Like the high end of every business is to talk to their clients and to their audience. And how do they deliver this message is very crucial to every business. And keeping this line of communication actually open between them serves the whole idea of automation. So the message itself needs support, needs process, needs a schedule, needs content, needs a message is a message, and it's very important. So what do you think, like, actually about having these messages set in a well-organized and well-scheduled and a well-formatted way for every business to convey this message and what they hope for?
So you're talking about email messages?
It could be email messages. It could be messages vary in forms, but email messages is
This is I think this is where the conversation starts. It starts actually by, yes, it's about a message, and the message needs always a recipient, whether the message is a phone call and you're delivering a message. So I think there are multiple ways for a message to be delivered, right? Why is the email an important mechanism nowadays?
Well, usually businesses use email to deliver kinds of click to actions to customers or potential customers. As a kind of like informational or educational email. And as I mentioned, they can have different types of click to actions, such as form filling, video, guidebook, PDF, anything.
So why? What is the objective? Let's talk about the objective of anybody really caring about delivering a message. What is the objective?
If I may jump into this, since you asked about email specifically. So, if you want to deliver a message, you can deliver it by a phone call, by a text message, by anything. But an email carries a lot of ways to deliver this message. It carries a lot of content, and it carries a lot of visuals, maybe, or text, or call to actions, or PDFs. So this is where you can actually put all your valuable content into attracting the customer or keeping a good communication with the customer.
Let's say you can showcase your idea.
Yeah, you can showcase, exactly. You can show in an email.
You can showcase, you can promote a product, you can, it is a lot. So let me see how, who's benefiting more of these kind of messages? Marketing or sales? Who really benefits more in, whether you are an entrepreneur or a small business? From what side is the main benefit?
Well,
I guess both. It's
even
both,
though
but it sales more, I guess.
So you think sales benefit more than marketing?
I'm gonna take my side, definitely.
Sales people talking.
Yeah,
exactly.
I would say that even though they are marketing strategies, they are often used in sales.
I think they support each other.
They
correlated. They drive each other into each other. So this is the cycle between sales and marketing.
Can we have a look at what a message can include?
Yeah, we can have a look, but you know what? I think if we talk about what Eve is talking about from marketing, or you in sales, the message is possibly can include anything. I mean here anything digital because it's an email. In a way, what I'm showing in here is that the message it can convey a lot of messages in one. It's not a single message. It's like, for example, if you have your logo and you get that into a message to your customer, they will always remember your brand, right? If it's about branding also. In a message, you can have some nice designs like what you see in here. You can include a video, and then that video plays and everything. So you can include different videos, like horizontal videos, like the landscape one, which are normally used, or any type of videos, even the vertical ones. Here we see Yuri trying to do something, right? So messages can be inclusive of the objective of the message itself. Sometimes the message is possibly to deliver some knowledge transfer or informational elements, sometimes to call for a deal to be sold somewhere. So I think that the message itself is all inclusive for a specific purpose. And in my mind, it can be, you asked me to show you something, so I will take a bit of time. So it can be of different formats, but it always includes some kind of call to actions. It always includes, for example, something that will drive people to follow on Facebook, on social media. Shareable elements are also in there. So the message becomes a multi-purpose, not only about the specific topic itself, but also about who you are as an organization or individual, and how do you drive your customer, whether from a marketing perspective, telling them about something, or you're calling them to buy something out there. That's what I think about the message. I think the sky is the limit in here in the digital world.
Yeah, true.
Yes.
Not to mention the powerful of message customization, because it's a private message. You can customize for each audience the message
that's a good point. Yeah, so you could address Danny, and you could possibly in the messages can have different forms, different levels, different ideas, but they can leverage, yes, as you said, they can leverage some kind of templates, some kind of branding elements, the colors, the style, everything in there, the footers. So yeah, it can leverage all that, and it can be in different formats. Yes, it can. Yeah.
So it holds a lot of components, and it reflects on the brand itself and the voice. It voices out to the connections that we have to reflect the business and their brand. So this looks very appealing, and it actually drags them with these buttons from maybe an email and that we want actually our customers to go from this email into a landing page by clicking on these actions. So
of course, let's have a look at the landing page. So you could drive them to something like that. So yeah.
And this is where marketing and sales support each other. So let's say, for example, we're having a promotional campaign and we want people to click on a button for them to get sales or discount or whatever. And when they do, we want to actually contact them from the sales side. Now we want to interact with these customers. And this is where we generate our leads from marketing, and then we drag them into the sales. And this is where maybe another campaign kicks in after generating this lead. So this is very important in sales and marketing. And this is why I said they support each other. There's no one more.
Yeah, this is probably where you start thinking about how does this whole scenario comes together. There is a kind of workflow in here. Like, I want to send a message, but I want to see my interaction with it. I want to see how I'm engaging. So whether the main objective is marketing or sales, by the end of the day, it's about the customer. It's about the recipient of your message. Sometimes it's about maintaining a relationship, just telling them, hey, happy birthday. Yeah, and sometimes it's about that's customer relations. We talked about it in the CRM session we had. But in a way, if you like this landing page, if we take it for example, like you invite people to book a meeting with you today, maybe to have a conversation. You're not selling them anything. You're just maintaining something in there. Maybe they want to discuss a certain topic that you put out there. And the idea in here is with Cheers Connect and the ability of visualization. And as we've seen already in the main messages, is video is becoming core. Visualization is key to everything. Now you get into being able to see that I can really engage and interact with my visitor on this page. That's what they call sometimes landing pages. So somebody would come and join my newsletter. Now I'm add them to a campaign that goes into newsletter, or book a meeting. And if they are buying something, they can buy it at the same time.
And I guess it's actually really easy to join and to go to the newsletter part and fill this, right?
It would, yeah. It's the idea in here is that part of the automation process is that when somebody submits, this is called form. So when somebody submits a form, it is submitted to the business itself. So we know now who is this individual, maybe their email, how to contact them. And then if they are joining the newsletter, the good part is that we will show later on how this gets into a mailing list, and that mailing list will send them the newsletter they need, or it will send something else to do that. So those forms are really very useful. Like in the same way the message itself is important to be delivered, the form is as important to be able to capture and collect the information from the visitor on your website, on your landing page, and drive another workflow that possibly will be into another message going out to the people. So it's a cycle that is, when it is well planned, it can continuously have good relationship with your recipients, customers, contacts. Not everybody is a customer, but you have a lot of recipients and contacts in your database. You want to make sure that you stay in touch with them.
Definitely, it strengthens the relationship and the communication stays in touch. So it does help.
Yeah. Let's see how this can be done.
Let me start by, since we are looking at the form, let me show fairly quickly the flexibility and the simplicity in Cheers Connect when it comes to forms. So I'm not going to go immediately into all the components of automation, so I'm going to close this one out and show you that a form, this is similar to what we're looking at this element by itself. So we were looking in here about this specific form. So let's look at how easy is it to be done. It's as easy as defining what do I want on that form, what kind of fields I want them in there. And they are easily done by just adding fields. And there are multiple ways, simplest, lists, no lists, name it. The second area is to give it a title and define what we want. Do I want to show the title on the form or not? You can activate it, not activate it. One of the important elements is that you can be notified when somebody really submits a form, not only get it into the workflow and the automation process, but you get an email also with that. In this form, you can have a design for the layout, and that's what you see on the form itself, and we're going to look at it. You can design the form altogether, give it a simple way, and then also you can design your button, and your button is as simple. So you don't need to be a programmer or HTML developer. You need also just to have an idea about how you want it to look like, and you can do it in here. You can also do a thank you page in here. And the thank you page could be something that gets displayed in place of the form when somebody submits or after that. The most important characteristic of Cheers Connect forms is not only what you have seen, it's most importantly after submit what happens. In Cheers Connect, it is as easy as 1, 2, 3 to be able to take benefit of every submitted form and get the workflow working, because it allows you to really control what happens with that part. So you could add somebody as a contact to a certain group in your CRM, and you can follow up with them later. You can even decide how you want that. So we're not going to get into all the business rules. That's number one. Number two, you could add them to a certain mailing list. And the mailing list could be to kick off another campaign that will be sent out immediately after that. The third element, which is very important, is that you can add them to a tag. So you can tag them with anything that's part of your assets and tags in Cheers Connect. And all those elements are very useful, specifically for the sales team, when they are looking at, do I have a new lead? Do I have something in here I need to look into? Or even for marketing or technical support or anything, because campaigns or messages are not strictly for marketing and sales. They are also for customer service, for technical support, for education, for anything that you can do. So the form is as easy as you're seeing in front of you right now, and you can just preview it in here anytime and make sure that it's up and running. So that's the form you've been seeing at this moment. So if that's not easy and simple, tell me what is.
It is really simple and easy and flexible.
This is
Very
how it
flexible. If you look at exactly what I was showcasing in here about after submit, that's something really very interesting for any team working, marketing, sales, whoever they are, and the flexibility in here to be able to engage accordingly. Okay.
Yeah.
So
yes,
that's the form. That's the form. And when you look at the forms and you see that, okay, those are in this landing page, you may come and ask question, well, what about this? How do we do that, right?
It might be like,
it looks good, but how do we really make it happen? How does it get really delivered into somebody's inbox in a good way? The important is that, sorry?
And how do we make it look this easy?
Oh, you want to see? What I wanted to talk a bit about before is that the key in this is that an email message gets delivered to your inbox, to your recipient inbox. So what's important is that how do they see it in their inbox? And how do they really play all those elements? In some cases, it needs to be elaborated on and understood that not everything really gets into the inbox and playable inside the inbox, specifically if you're using, for example, a desktop client, not a web client. In web clients, most of those elements play because they are in web interfaces. So if I want to really discuss about this specific message, this is how easy to build the message. It's our WYSIWYG, what you see, what you get designer. It's just a kind of drag and drop components. You can design it any way you like. There are some technicalities in here, like people need to understand width, height, color, all these things, but it's very simple. If somebody does a mock-up on a piece of paper, they can come in here and implement it easily. Like, for example, this is a placeholder for a video library item. This is a placeholder for a library, and every element in here can be from anywhere, your desktop, the web, or your assets, digital assets that are stored in Cheers Connect. So the message itself can be designed in any way you like. It can include no videos or 6 videos or any videos. It can include any image, a list of many call to actions in many ways. They can be in button formats, they can be in just link formats, and they can be inserted anywhere in your area. And you can do it all just using this WYSIWYG message builder, we call it. And of course, every message can have a what we call in here, if you look at this, for example, full name, we call them the custom tags. And custom tags can be also between the message inside and the message subject by itself. You can attach documents or anything also to be sent out with the message builder is so flexible and so easy to use. And yeah, sometimes you may come and say, well, wait a second, not everybody has the knowledge of doing all those designs. I think our professional services are more than happy to do, and there are many marketing consultants out there in the world who are also ready to help in that. This is more than piece of cake for anybody who knows a bit about design, a bit.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. That's
This
how
is-
easy it is to do a message. Now, sometimes you would say, how would it look like if I'm running on a tablet? You see this item in here, so you can look at it and see this is how it would look on a tablet or inside a mailbox. If you want to test your message, how it would look like on a mobile device, it's very simple. You can look at it and see this is how it will render on a mobile device. And oh my God, that's fantastic. So you can test your message on multiple recipient platforms and make sure that it looks the way you want before publishing it and sending it to anybody else.
Yeah, you can eliminate errors and unsuccessful delivery.
Yeah, and because there is no code involved here, so you don't need to know HTML, you don't need to know any kind of programming. It's the WYSIWYG editor will allow to do, for example, anything you want. It's very flexible, as simple as dragging and dropping things, but also you can go into the detailed styling and editing anytime. So it's simple and it can be as complex as you want it to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Tell me.
so yeah, now we have this message is well formatted. We designed it. We used a template. We did all what we have to do. Now we want to put this, like the message alone. Okay, it previews very well, but how we put it into action, like how we want the other end of this message to receive it. We want to schedule it. Do we want to send it separately? How can we actually put that into action?
Here's my answer. When you design a message, sometimes you want to send it independently to a group of people, to a mailing list, to an individual. You can just put it in an email and it's out. But when you want that to be part of what we're calling, or what the word calls today, automation or message automation, in Choose Connect, we know that automation is not about just delivering the message. It's about what we were talking about before. It's how the message itself engages other people, the recipients, how they come back into your landing page, how they engage into that, how it kicks in something else, how it works with everything. So automation is not limited to just delivering the message. However, the campaign manager, this is a campaign, and every campaign can be related to a single message to be sent out or multiple messages to be sent out. It can be attached to a certain recipient lists, what are the mailing lists that can be done. So what you do in here is that you can define a campaign for any purpose, maybe education, maybe after sales support, maybe onboarding, whatever you want it to be. You can have your messages ready, and then you can list your messages in the campaign. You can define when this message will go out, like when somebody's added to a mailing list, when does this campaign kick in? Well, I want this message to kick in immediately. I want this one to kick in day 2. This one goes into day 4, and you can turn on and off messages in here anytime you like. You can even preview all the details of this campaign whenever you want. So the idea of the message itself, if it's individual, yeah, you decide to send it out whenever you like. If it's part of a campaign, and that's where the question comes about automating that campaign, it becomes a part of having this message being scheduled. And that's what you look at in here as a schedule. And you can turn the off one, you can turn it on also by just a click of a button in here, and it works the way it should be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sorry, I just wanted to add something to this. And when you actually schedule the messages and add the recipients to the end of it, and it saves you a lot of time, and it takes a lot of your shoulders, and it makes you, it increases the productivity in so many different ways. Because, to error is to human, and when you have it scheduled and automated, it takes this error off your back. That's what I wanted to say. You had something to say.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, how can we eliminate or receive or choose who gets to receive this message? How can we choose how to connect our message to a certain target or a certain audience that we want?
Oh, that's a good question. You see, in here, the campaign lists are actually your mailing lists.
Okay.
But before getting into there, let's remember something. In Cheers Connect, your contact is a single unique contact. That contact is what counts in Cheers Connect. You can use that contact in as many mailing lists and as many groups as you want. So what you do usually is that you say to yourself, let me have this mailing list. A mailing list includes or contains a number of contacts or named contacts to whom you want to really send those messages, or you want this campaign to be sent to. So what you do in Cheers Connect, you create a mailing list, and you can add from your contacts to this mailing list, whether you're adding from groups or adding individual contacts, one by one. You can choose who, or as we have seen before, like from the form itself. So when somebody submits a form, we have seen previously that the form can submit that contact to a certain list and gets automatically added to the list. So mainly, you can manage your list, and you can add a list to multiple campaigns. Like the same list can kick in multiple campaigns at the same time without any interruptions in between. The same way a campaign can include multiple lists. And from this list, you can always manage the adding and removing. You can decide at a certain point in time to remove somebody. Here's the key element also with all that. In campaigns and marketing, there are rules, there are regulations, there are privacy laws, there is a lot of things that is included and important to be maintained. With Cheers Connect, with every message that goes out, it goes with multiple elements to be kicked in. We can look into that when we look into our messages area in here later on, sometime in a different video. But what's important to remember when we're working with campaigns and automation is that any recipient of any message can at any time, and it's going to be in every mail delivered, they can report on that specific mail, report abuse, report whatever they want to report. That's number one. Number two, they can unsubscribe, and that's part of also regulations. And number three, they can say, I don't want to be in your database anymore. Take me out of your contact list completely. And Cheers Connect, once the user or the recipient of those messages clicks on any of those action elements in their received emails, they will be automatically managed in here, regardless of who you are as a user of Cheers.
Yeah. How can we check the performance of a campaign?
You mean what do you mean by that?
The statistics, I mean.
Well, you know, Cheers Connect
Yes.
tracks a lot of things. So let's have a quick look. For example, Cheers Connect can track a lot of things. Like it can track the message when it's opened, how many times it was opened, how many unique times it was opened, who opened it, because you're sending it to a list. And remember, in some cases, in campaigns, it's not about private messages. They are campaigns. In the private messages, you can really look at the privacy too. So you can have a look at every recipient, and you can have a small graph in here that would tell you, well, this was sent to 378, but only 158 unique recipients received it, and 193 multiple opens. It can tell you about how many video views, for example, have been in there, how many have seen it, and for how long. So Rita, looks like you have seen this video twice. And it can tell you more, like every call to action you have into the system, every call to action into that message is tracked independently. So you'll know in here who pushed the button or the link to go and book an appointment. And then you will have the detail of the link in here. And you would have also, for example, this is a 34 count. Somebody went to paulmanagement.com, for example, and then you could see who they are, when they did it. And from here, you can derive some your own analysis of those statistics. And then you can say, okay, here's somebody who is interested in talking to us. But maybe they did not finish filling the form. So let me send them an email and inviting them to talk. From here, it's a matter of your analytics and your action to be taken. But yeah, you should be able at any time to see any campaign. And by the way, this analytics is similar to what you can see in any message you send out, not only for the campaign. So you can see the opens, the reads, the videos plays, and every click that has been happening in there. Hope this helps a bit or answers to your question.
Yeah, it's great for like a marketeer to know if they sent a video, that the video have been played for a certain amount of time, so they can know like if their potential customers, or let's say, they are interested in what they are sending.
Yeah. This is where whether marketing or sales, you have to derive a bit of analytics out of there. But the most important part is that when things are driven into your CRM and your forms specifically are really doing their job into defining what goes into your CRM, that will give anybody, sales, support, customer service, marketing, anybody engaging into that part, they will give them a hint and a drive on where to go next, what to do, whether collectively. I have a lot of interest coming in for a certain product, or I have a simple request about somebody who needs help with something. Again, it depends on what is the purpose of that specific message.
It's very important actually to track the performance of every campaign, regardless if it's for sales or marketing or any kind of campaign. When you track the analysis and you know how it's performing, you can know next where to stress the points, what points to stress on, who to connect with, what type of contacts you want to be like, have them in the interesting phase of your client's journey. And this is where actually we come to a conclusion about the automation feature in Cheers Connect and how it makes everything looks easy and it actually comes to the rescue. So as in sales, it's very important to keep up with your clients, to keep the connections, you know,
Exactly. I was going to say that exactly. Keeping up the connection with the client keeps him knowing that we are following up with him. We are remembering that he exists. We're not using him just as a client. Instead, we're keeping remembering his birthday, his regardless of what case it is. So yes, it is really important. It helps with the customer service or after sales in a way as equal as during the sales. So so exactly, it is.
It benefits the customers and it benefits the business itself, the company, by actually keeping their identity in the minds of their clients by this constant follow-up in the campaign, messages, even in marketing. So, you know, even the marketing as well, it's very important your identity in the face of
it can show you also which was your most successful campaign. So you can replicate that in the future
and repurpose it. Exactly.
Yes.
And you can repurpose the content inside of every message, because a message holds content, and this serves also so many parts in marketing and so many parts in sales as well.
Yes.
So I think we covered the whole idea of automation, and this is just an overview. We'll be coming back to demonstrate into further details and show how to implement everything that we just talked about. I think this is it for today's session. If anyone has any other question, just let us.
No, I think this is it. Thank you for everything.
Yeah, I think we covered everything.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, everyone.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.